Previously on New Blue, inside the 2014 Johns Hopkins men's lacrosse season, the Blue Jays got off to a 5-0 start. Included was a crucial 15-9 win at Princeton that highlighted the 5-game season-opening winning streak. That streak, which bridged the first two episodes, was followed by 3 consecutive losses that pushed the Blue Jays into the month of April with a precarious 5-3 record and a challenging road ahead.
For us, this is an opportunity to learn from our mistakes and move forward.
A primetime game against a dangerous Great Dane team may not have been what the doctor ordered, but the message the team received from Captain Ben Harrow certainly was.
As you know, tomorrow night's game benefits Wounded Warrior. You know, it's not often in life you get to meet true heroes. And the men and women that represent our country and provide us the blanket of freedom that we live under. And they do it with their hearts, souls, and their bodies. We're awful privileged to have Captain Harrow here with us. So he's gonna spend some time talking with you. All right, I don't think it could come at a better time for our team with this game on the horizon tomorrow night in the place that we're in. So if you wouldn't mind giving Captain Harrow a big hand.
Guys, thanks for having me here. It's a special thing being on a team, and it's even more special being on a winning team. But you gotta be ready to go above and beyond, because that's what wins championships, and that's what saved my life 15 May 2012. That fateful day, my Special Forces team and I were working with local villagers in securing the village from the Taliban. One moment, I was walking into an Afghan structure with my weapon drawn. The next thing I felt was an explosion of extreme pressure, throwing my body through the air and slamming it to the ground. What had happened? Did a mortar just land next to me? Did I just step on an IED? I knew I was now laying on the ground and something was very wrong. Things were starting to slow down. I started to stop seeing the cloud of dust all around me as things were fading to black. Suddenly, a thought popped into my head. Over all the confusion and chaos racing through my mind, I finally had a moment of clarity. My son, my little boy. When I had left, he was only 9 months old. My medic would later tell me that I was in a state called twilighting, where one is on the border of life and death. When they found me, I was laying on my side screaming, trying to get up, all of which I don't remember. I had placed my right leg directly on the IED, which had in turn vaporized my limb. When I arrived at the trauma center at Kandahar Airfield, I was still responsive and mumbling to the medics, which I also don't remember. The doctors told my wife there were 2 reasons I was still alive. First, my Special Forces teammates had done a textbook job of placing tourniquets all over my body. And 2, I had a strong heart and a will to live. The doc said you could do everything medically perfect, but it eventually comes down to the patient's will to live in an instance like this. For the next 24 hours, I refused to touch the morphine button that would make the pain go away. Things hurt, but I dealt with the pain. I really think I was able to get out of the hospital as quick as I did because I stopped the pain med so soon. My next challenge was figuring out how to walk again. So much of my right femur had been blown off in the blast that prosthetics didn't fit me. 2 operations later, and 5 months of stretching out a broken femur, I'm the first person to ever grow 5 inches of leg from such a short femur. I've literally more than doubled the length of my femur, and on course to be up to walking come the summertime. Nobody wants to die. No one wants to be the name on a KIA bracelet or a memorial wall. But not everyone has the will to live. Just like everyone wants to be playing Memorial Day weekend, not everyone is willing to do the tough things that make you a winner, or in my case, a survivor. Deo Prese Liger, and thank you.
Feeding off the emotion of Captain Harrow's message, the Blue Jays got the quick start they needed, jumping on the Danes from the opening whistle to the tune of a 5-0 lead at the end of the first quarter and a 9-1 lead at halftime.
Reed has a clear shot on goal and he puts it in the back of the net. Stanwyck gets it over to Catoni, who fires away and scores.
The message from Captain Harrow was you deal with adversity. You deal with what's thrown at you. You don't cry about it. You don't whine about it. You overcome it. And his message was humbling, it was spot on, and quite frankly, after a couple of losses, it was exactly what our team needed to hear.
Hopkins wins it 13-8.
Thanks for coming out.
That's a great win! We always thought they coming all along, yeah, all along. We got the keys to open paradise, yeah, paradise. Now let's go walking hand in hand. Come on, baby, we can hit the lights, make the wrongs turn right. We can smash that clock, make the pop go rock. We the love this deep, we don't need no sleep, and it feels like we could do this all night.
The joy that came with the win against Albany was short-lived as the Blue Jays returned to the practice field. After all, the greatest rivalry in the sport of lacrosse was coming to Homewood Field just a week later.
The next game after Albany was Maryland. It was homecoming, and kind of reminded me, quite frankly, of the old days. It's what it felt like around here. There was a buzz around this place. It was an electric environment around here, but during the week, it was a very focused environment.
All week we were preparing for a very good Maryland team and getting ready to have the biggest game of our season so far. And I think we really responded well to the entire environment and the intensity of a homecoming game, especially a Maryland Hopkins game.
Reading or hearing about the 110 previous meetings between Johns Hopkins and Maryland hardly prepares the newcomers for what awaits them on game day. But with all the pageantry of homecoming and the excitement of playing in front of an overflow crowd, the recipe for success against JHU's biggest rival is still the same as it always is at Johns Hopkins.
Okay. Keys. Ground balls equal victory. Okay? This is the number 2 ground ball team in the country. There's a reason for it, because they hustle, because they're athletic, because they got good sticks. All of that sits in this room as well. 12 5-minute segments. 12 5-minute segments equals 60 minutes. We talked yesterday about start and finish and the grind in between. Play with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. Play with a little hate in your heart today, because that's this rivalry. Play clean, play smart, and play together. We go out. We have a warm-up, we come in, and it starts to boil. And once senior day's over, we are ready, we are jacked, and we get
Break this huddle, you take a look around you. They're here for you. They're here to cheer you on. We gotta buck up right now. We've been talking all season about now it's our time to answer the bell. 1-3 family, 1, 2, 3. Family!
Canizar trying to make the turn. The double team comes. Ball's on the ground. And Hopkins comes up with it. Now a shot on goal by Hopkins. Good save. Catoni scores the first goal for Hopkins. Maryland has it, and their offensive zone slipping. The double team comes.
Nearly 10,000 fans packed into Homewood Field on a picture-perfect Saturday afternoon. After a slow start, the Blue Jays jumped out to a 2-0 lead and held a 2-1 advantage with less than 3 minutes left in the first half.
Lacrosse fires on goal and he scores.
Let's go, let's finish the 5.
A goal by senior Brandon Benn and back-to-back strikes by junior Wells Stanwyck in the final minutes gave the Blue Jays a 5-1 lead at the half.
Now Guida, good pass to the far post to Brandon Benn, who scores. Stanwyck behind the net, looks for a shot and he scores!
Needing a signature win and energized by the electric atmosphere, the 4-goal lead swelled to 6 midway through the fourth quarter as Ryan Brown capped a 4-2 surge to give the Blue Jays a comfortable lead.
Behind the net, West with it, and West gets it right back.
But Maryland, which had spent a good part of the early season ranked #1, wouldn't go quietly. A 3-goal run for the Terps, a run that needed less than 3 minutes to piece together, sliced the deficit to 3.
Lacrosse has it, and he scores. Lacrosse from about 17, 18 yards away.
But a wild fourth quarter that saw 8 goals evenly split was polished off by the Blue Jays as Eric Schneider posted 5 of his 12 saves in the final 15 minutes.
Goal double team comes, shot, and Schneider has it in his stick.
Ryan Brown and John Crawley added insurance goals late to give Johns Hopkins a much-needed and hard-earned victory.
Final score, Johns Hopkins 11, Maryland 6. Thank you and good afternoon.
Couple of very simple things. Number one, my staff and I are very proud of you. That's a good lacrosse team that we played. That's a very good one. People have struggled to get to double digits on them, and people have struggled to keep them below double digits. And you did a great job today, okay? Not a good job. You did a great job today. I couldn't be more thrilled for our senior class to have their last big crowd home game, because we got a big one against Villanova here. But our last homecoming, I can't be more thrilled for you. What a memory. What a memory for you guys. Here's my challenge to you. You played good, solid Hopkins lacrosse tonight. Can you do it again and again and again?
The win over Maryland was the perfect way to jumpstart a 4 games in 12 days run for the Blue Jays, who had just 48 hours before a game in Mount St. Mary's. Using its depth to its advantage, the Blue Jays overwhelmed the Mountaineers 17-2 as 45 players saw the field, and 13 different players registered at least 1 point in the victory. It was just 4 days later when the Blue Jays traveled to Annapolis to take on a determined Navy team that had won 2 straight against JHU at home. Like so many of the classic Johns Hopkins Navy games of old, this one came down to the wire, with Schneider's 17-save masterpiece the difference in a 6-5 win. Villanova made its first visit to Homewood Field in more than 10 years, and the Blue Jays had to work for everything they got in a closer-than-it-looks 13-7 victory. Hat tricks by Stanwyck and Holden Catoni sparked the win, which wasn't sealed until a late 5-0 run that pushed the winning streak to 5 games.
To go down to Navy, get a big win down there, which was an important win for us. Then to beat Villanova, which I think is one of the bigger wins we've had here in recent years because of the meaning of that game, was really important. And I think the nice part is we've continued to grow as a team, we've continued to develop as a team, but we've also continued to build our confidence.
I think we've just gotten back to playing the way that coach has been preaching us we need to play. Hard fought, outwork our opponents on the ground, in the ride, stuff like that, and finding different ways to win. And I think that's definitely helped us offensively and defensively.
I don't think much has changed. I think we're finding our confidence, and our confidence is big. And when we play with confidence, we play loose and we play fluid, we really find our mojo and we really play well. And I think that's when we're most comfortable. That's when we thrive the most, and that's when we win.
With the 5-game winning streak and what many believed was a certain bid to the NCAA tournament in hand, the Blue Jays had just 1 date left on their regular season calendar. A visit to Charles Street rival and top-ranked Loyola.
Let's go, boys. 1, 2, 3.
Hopkins got off to a quick start, grabbing leads of 3-0 and 4-2. But Loyola went on a 9-4 run that consumed the second and third quarters and eventually gave the Hounds a 13-8 lead. The late Johns Hopkins rally fell short, and what would have been a restful 30 hours became much more tense.
You know, we lost the game. We're hopeful that we'll get that opportunity and have another chance to go back and practice. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship Selection Show.
Meanwhile, Virginia, who missed the tournament a season ago, will finish.
With a body of work worthy of an NCAA record 42nd bid to the tournament, the Blue Jays received the good news on Selection Sunday. The prize for their selection? A trip to Charlottesville for a rematch against 8th-seeded Virginia. For 49 players and 4 coaches, the location and opponent were irrelevant to some degree. They would get to play together at least one more time.
You got your second chance. What are you going to do with it? Congratulations. I'm thrilled for you. I'm proud of you. But now, are you going to be like all the other teams? Or are you going to set yourself apart again? You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. It's survive and advance. And I plan on surviving and advancing.
For the 2014 Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, the first season is over. The second season, the one they measure themselves by, now begins. 18 teams start the fight to Memorial Day with identical records and seeking the ultimate prize. 8 months have now passed since the team first assembled as one unit for the start of fall practice. The unknowns are now known. The young are now experienced. 49 players have become one. The new blue of 2014.